Hey you guys, this is the Kaizen Man welcoming you to the Kaizen Projekt. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to strengthen the muscles around the knees. A couple of years ago, I was doing a lot of cycling, I was doing a lot of running and squats, but I wasn't taking the time to stretch out some of the muscles in my legs, and I ended up with an injury on my left knee. I had a meniscal tear that happened, which over the years has kind of cut into some of the things that I can do with my body, but I've been working really hard to keep my knee healthy and also strengthen the muscles around the joint. So today, if you're having any knee issues, I don't pretend to be a doctor, but this is something that I've worked on for myself over the last 3 years, and these are the exercises that have worked for me. And a couple of good things to have as part of your home workout or your gym workout routine is a block. This is a foam block, it's pretty light. And the other thing, it's an elastic band, and it's just a stretchy band, and you can use that for various different exercises. Just doing a few of these to warm up. This is a great way to build flexibility as well as strength through the lower half of the body. Just settling into this pose for a few breaths, letting your pelvis open up. You can have your palms together, you can also have your hands down towards the toes or the ground if you prefer that, and try and maintain a little bit of pressure between the arms and the legs. You want to try and press the arms into the legs and have the legs pressing back. So there's some activation, some energy in between the arm and leg connection. All right, so we're gonna set up into a hip width distance stance. So my hips, knees, and ankles all stacking in a straight line. And first I'm just gonna work on getting that weight to feel balanced in my feet. And then from here, starting to let the heels get lighter. As my heels lift off, balancing on my toes. And once I'm comfortable here, you can have your hands on the waist to start off and start to bend the knees, bending your knees, and letting them go past your toes here, and at the same time pushing the pelvis forward, and then coming back and straighten. And as you get a bit more used to this, you can maybe take your hands and reach them out in front of you, and then balancing on the toes, bending your knees, and then start to push the pelvis forward. Let it extend in the same direction as your knees, coming back, and that's one. And then bending, pushing forward, holding, breathing, and maintaining control all the way through. And to go even further, you can take your arms out and really keep the core nice and active throughout. So your tailbone's reaching down, your lower belly is pulling in. And then balancing on your toes, letting the heels lift, and then bending and straightening. And notice how I'm keeping the motion nice and controlled. I'm starting to really feel this in my quads right here. These muscles are really working. Shake it out. So one of the things that often happens is our outer thigh muscles tend to be a little bit stronger than the inner thigh muscles. So when we're putting weight onto the feet, oftentimes the knee wants to turn out a little bit. And just to train your knee to stay centered and the muscles in the inner thighs to activate as well, we can use some of these props here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this strap around my legs, bringing it up all the way to the knees. Then I'm going to take this block and secure it between my thighs. So now this gives me a lot more stability. These muscles are active as I squeeze the block in. The strap is helping to keep the knees in alignment. Now you can find the same exercise that we just did with this block and band variation. And you can also find the same thing and you can come into squats. You can grab a couple of dumbbells if you like beside you. And just as you're going through your squats, really paying attention to the knees, because oftentimes at the bottom of the movement, the knees want to either turn in or out depending on where your imbalances are. And having these blocks and props in place just helps to keep your knees in alignment so you can really focus on strengthening the muscles around the joints. With the block between your thighs, with the band, pulling your knees, keeping them in alignment, just working on building strength. And one of the things that I realized when I injured my left knee is that I actually have an imbalance in my glute medius muscle, which are the muscles right around here. And because there's that imbalance there, a lot of the weight when I'm walking or standing tends to go down into the knees. So something I've been trying to do is build that strength up in the outer thigh muscles, the IT bands, the glutes, the glute medius. And this exercise specifically is great to build that strength. So with the band around the ankles, you want to keep a bit of tension there and keeping your feet, again, hip width distance apart, knees, ankles, and hips. You want to try and stack them on top of each other whenever possible. From here, you can bring your hands together into a nice strong grip and then going side to side, just kind of that lateral movement. And you want to keep your hips facing forward the entire time, keeping the movement nice and controlled. And you will start to feel that burn really building up through the outer thigh muscles. And we're trying to isolate those muscles so you can strengthen them. And then going back to the other side. And even when you step the feet together, you will still want to have some tension in that strap. So your muscles are still working even when both feet are together. And when you're lifting, you're trying to really lift from the outer thigh muscles, pulling against the resistance that the band is offering. And just once I'm done that exercise, just to keep mobility in the hip as well, I like to do these sweeping leg motions, especially for the lifting on this side, as we tend to have a greater emphasis on the muscles that move our body back and forth, but we don't move the legs side to side like this. So you want to make sure that after you've strengthened these muscles, that you're also taking the time to stretch them out and keep the hips nice and mobile. All right, and that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you got value out of that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention as well. If you enjoyed that video, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and I want to hear about your experience with these exercises. I've been asked before to do exercise videos, and this is something that I've been working on personally, which is why I wanted to share it with you. So once you try it out, let me know how it goes, and let's work on creating more content together. Again, thank you so much. Until next time, it's the Kaizen Man signing out.